10 bird species went completely extinct in just 34 years. And the cause was hiding in plain sight the entire time. In 1984, biologist Julie Savage walked into the forests of Guam carrying recording equipment. She planned to study the island's famous bird populations. Guam was known for its dense jungle chorus. Thousands of birds singing at dawn. But when she pressed record that morning, something was terribly wrong. Silence. Complete silence. Not a single bird call. Not one chirp. Nothing. She checked her equipment. It was working perfectly. The forest was alive with insects and rustling leaves. But zero birds. She walked deeper into the jungle. Still nothing. Then she looked up into the canopy. What she saw made her blood run cold. Draped across every branch were snakes. Hundreds of brown tree snakes. Some measuring over 8 feet long. They were everywhere. Guam's birds hadn't migrated. They hadn't died from disease. They'd been eaten. Every single one. The brown tree snake had consumed an entire island's bird population in less than 4 decades. But here's what nobody understood at the time. This wasn't a natural disaster. This was a man-made apocalypse. And it started with a single cargo ship in 1950. What happened next would cost the United States over $4 million every single year. The truth was far worse than anyone imagined. Guam is a tiny U.S. territory in the Pacific Ocean. Just 210 square miles. About 30 miles long. After World War II, it became a crucial military hub. Cargo ships arrived constantly. Supplies for Andersen Air Force Base. Equipment for Naval Base Guam. Thousands of tons of materials every month. Sometime around 1950, a brown tree snake slithered aboard a military cargo ship. Probably in Papua New Guinea or the Solomon Islands. The snake hid in the wheel well or cargo container. Nobody noticed. When the ship docked in Guam, the snake escaped onto the island. Maybe it was just one snake. Maybe it was 3. Nobody knows the exact number. But it was enough. Here's the thing about brown tree snakes. They're not particularly dangerous to humans. Their venom is weak. But they're absolutely devastating to birds. And Guam had never seen a snake like this before. The island had 0 native snake species. None. Which meant Guam's birds had never evolved defenses against snake predators. They nested on the ground. They didn't recognize snakes as threats. They were sitting ducks. The brown tree snake is also a perfect invasive predator. Females can store sperm for months. A single pregnant female can establish an entire population. They eat everything. Birds, bats, lizards, eggs. They climb trees with ease. They're nocturnal hunters. And Guam offered them paradise. Unlimited food. No natural predators. Perfect climate. Dense forest cover. By 1960, the snake population was growing exponentially. But nobody noticed yet. The forest still sang every morning. Guam's famous kingfishers and flycatchers still filled the canopy. Then the bird population started dropping. Slowly at first. Then faster. Local residents reported fewer birds each year. But scientists didn't connect the dots. Some blamed pesticides. Others thought it was habitat loss. A few suggested disease. Nobody suspected snakes. Because nobody had seen the snakes yet. They hunt at night. They hide during the day. By 1968, the Guam flycatcher was becoming rare. The Guam kingfisher sightings were dropping 70%. Something was killing the birds. But what? The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service sent researchers to investigate. they found nothing conclusive. The mystery deepened. And the clock was ticking. By 1973, northern Guam's forests had gone almost completely silent. The bird decline was undeniable now. But scientists still couldn't explain it. Then people started seeing the snakes. Not just one or two. Hundreds. They were crossing roads at night, climbing power lines, getting into houses. One researcher counted 47 snakes in a single acre of forest. But here's what nobody realized yet. The snake density was about to get much worse. In 1978, a breakthrough. Biologist Robert Tigner finally proposed the brown tree snake as the primary culprit. He'd been studying the timeline. The bird decline matched the snake's northern expansion perfectly. But by then, it was already too late for most species. The Guam flycatcher was functionally extinct by 1984. The rufous fantail vanished the same year. The cardinal honeyeater disappeared in 1984. Julie Savage arrived in 1983 to study what remained. She documented the catastrophe scientifically. Her research proved beyond doubt that brown tree snakes were responsible. The numbers were staggering. In some areas, researchers found 12,000 snakes per square mile. That's the highest snake density ever recorded anywhere on Earth. For comparison, the Florida Everglades has about 150 pythons per square mile. Guam had become Snake Island. And the consequences went far beyond dead birds. Power grids started failing. Snakes climbed electrical poles and transformers. They caused short circuits. Between 1978 and 1997, brown tree snakes caused over 1,600 power outages on Guam. The economic damage exceeded $4 million annually. Andersen Air Force Base had to install special snake barriers around critical equipment. The cost ran into millions. But the outages continued. Then the snakes started affecting human health. Not through bites. Through a more disturbing route. Small children were being bitten in their sleep. Between 1962 and 2012, brown tree snakes bit approximately one infant per year on Guam. The venom caused swelling and pain. The ecosystem was collapsing in other ways too. Without birds, the forest couldn't function properly. Birds spread seeds. They control insect populations. They're ecosystem engineers. Spider populations exploded. With no birds eating them, spider webs covered the jungle. Densities increased 40 times compared to nearby islands with healthy bird populations. Certain tree species stopped reproducing. Their seeds required bird dispersal. Without birds, young trees couldn't establish in new areas. The forest was aging without replacement. By 1986, 10 of Guam's 12 native forest bird species were extinct in the wild. The Guam rail survived only because 21 individuals were captured for captive breeding. The Guam kingfisher suffered the same fate. Only 29 birds remained in zoos worldwide. The brown tree snake had completely transformed Guam in just 36 years. But what scientists discovered next revealed an even more terrifying truth about how this happened so fast. In the early 1990s, researchers made a discovery that explained everything. And it was worse than anyone thought. Brown tree snakes on Guam had evolved to become super predators. They were different from brown tree snakes in their native range. Larger. More aggressive. More efficient hunters. Scientist Gordon Rada measured this precisely. Guam's brown tree snakes averaged over 6 feet long. Some reached 10 feet. In their native Australia and Papua New Guinea, they rarely exceeded 5 feet. The reason? Unlimited food during the early invasion years. The snakes that ate the most grew the largest. The largest produced the most offspring. Evolution in fast forward. But here's the truly shocking part. By the time scientists understood what was happening, the snakes had already eaten themselves into a crisis. With birds extinct, the adult snake population was starving. Researchers found the average snake density had dropped from 12,000 per square mile to about 2,000 by 2010. But that was still 2,000 too many for ecosystem recovery. The snakes switched to eating lizards. Guam's lizard populations crashed next. Then they ate the remaining bats. The Mariana fruit bat declined 80%. Scientists realized they were watching an invasive species destroy its own food supply. The snakes were experiencing a population boom and bust cycle. But the damage was permanent. The US government tried everything to stop them. They tried traps. They caught over 140,000 snakes between 2007 and 2018. The population barely changed. They tried snake detecting dogs. The dogs found snakes effectively. But there were simply too many to make a difference. Then they tried something desperate. In 2013, the USDA began dropping dead mice laced with acetaminophen from helicopters. The common pain medication is lethal to brown tree snakes. They dropped 2,000 poison mice per square mile across targeted areas. The results? Modest success. Snake numbers dropped in treated areas. But complete eradication proved impossible. The snakes hide too well. They breed too fast. The jungle is too dense. Here's what keeps scientists awake at night. Guam's snakes are trying to spread. They're hitchhiking on cargo flights again. The same way they arrived. Between 1981 and 2003, 8 brown tree snakes were found on Oahu, Hawaii. All were caught before establishing populations. But it only takes one pregnant female. If brown tree snakes establish in Hawaii, the ecological damage would dwarf Guam's catastrophe. Hawaii has over 70 unique bird species. Many are already endangered. A brown tree snake invasion would cause mass extinctions across the entire island chain. The US military now spends over $8 million annually on snake interdiction programs. Every cargo container leaving Guam gets inspected. Dogs sniff wheel wells. Barriers surround airports. But in 2020, a brown tree snake was found in a cargo container in Texas. It had traveled 7,800 miles from Guam. The system isn't perfect. The snake that destroyed Guam is knocking on Hawaii's door. And nobody can guarantee it won't get through. Today, Guam's forests remain almost birdless. The silence is permanent. An entire ecosystem lost in a single human lifetime. The brown tree snake taught us the most expensive lesson in invasion biology. Prevention costs thousands. Control costs millions. Eradication costs billions. Doing nothing costs everything. Invasive species are now the second leading cause of biodiversity loss globally. Only habitat destruction ranks higher. The United Nations estimates invasive species cost the global economy over $423 billion annually. Guam proves how fast it can happen. 36 years from first snake to complete ecosystem collapse. 1 generation. The few Guam rails and Guam kingfishers that survived live in zoos. Captive breeding programs are trying to save them. But they can't return home. Too many snakes still hunt there. Some scientists hold out hope for new technology. Gene drives that could sterilize snake populations. Advanced detection systems. Better barriers. But Guam's birds are gone. 10 species extinct. Millions of years of evolution erased by one cargo ship in 1950. The story isn't over. Right now, cargo is being loaded in Guam. Some of it will fly to Hawaii tonight. And somewhere in that cargo, a snake might be hiding. Subscribe and hit the bell for a new dark truth every day. The question isn't whether the next ecological collapse is coming. The question is, which island will be next, and will we catch it in time? Subscribe and hit the bell for a new dark truth every day.